Ignition sequence start. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Hey everybody, this is the Digital Asset Investor, and welcome to there's no question, the most bullish day in crypto since I got into this in 2013. Yesterday was an epic day out of the Trump administration, and we're going to go through all of that. Surprisingly, the markets didn't really react to it, but that doesn't mean anything to me. What matters is now the big money is about to go in motion, and I wouldn't be a bit surprised if starting now and into the weekend things went absolutely nuts. That wouldn't surprise me a bit. So let's show you why. This is Trump yesterday signing the crypto executive order.
And this, David, is?
Yeah, this is the crypto EO. We're going to be forming an internal working group to make.
That's David Sachs, the crypto czar.
Crypto, to make America the world capital in crypto under your leadership.
Which is really going up, right?
Absolutely.
All right, David, that's for you.
Thanks, sir.
You find them exciting? They might not be exciting, but they're going to make a lot of money for the country.
Now, folks, I love it. This is the executive order right here. Strengthening American leadership in digital financial technology. Now, what has set the Bitcoin maxis off, and don't forget, and I have the proof, the Bitcoin maxis goal was always to have a monopoly with Bitcoin. That's been the goal. Michael Saylor's their leading proponent, and I've got him on video. I'll show it to you in a minute. You don't have to take my word for it. Their goal was for everything else to be a security so that Bitcoin somehow had this air of being different, because it's not different. It's less than all the others. So these Bitcoin maxis have gone crazy. And folks, let me make sure I make sure you understand. I want Bitcoin to survive. I want Ethereum to survive. I want XRP to survive. I want Trump coin, Dogecoin, all of them, even if I don't invest in them. But I want all of it to happen on a level playing field. That's all we ever asked for, is let there be a level playing field. And once you have that, the best digital assets will win. This is what they've never wanted. And it's very telling. They're ferocious. I've never seen them get so upset as they did over these things. They're even questioning whether David Sachs should have been made the crypto czar now. And I'll show you that too. But here's what these are the summary of the executive order. Establishes presidential working group on digital asset markets. The working group will be tasked with developing federal regulatory framework governing digital assets, including stablecoins, evaluating the creation of a strategic national digital asset stockpile, not Bitcoin stockpile, national digital asset stockpile, because as I've said for weeks now, it would make no sense to just put one in there when others are going to be involved in the infrastructure of the United States financial system. What you would do is you would pick preferably the US base, and we don't know where Bitcoin comes from, or they say they don't. So it would be US based, wouldn't it? Wouldn't that make the most sense? Working group will be chaired by White House AI and crypto czar David Sachs, and includes Secretary of the Treasury, the Chairman of the SEC, and heads of other relevant agencies. White House AI crypto czar will engage leading experts in digital assets and digital markets to ensure that actions of the working group are informed by expertise beyond federal government. The executive order directs departments and agencies with identifying and making recommendations to the working group on regulations and other agency actions affecting digital assets. Executive order prohibits agencies from undertaking any action to establish, issue, promote central bank digital currencies. Executive order revokes the previous admin's digital asset executive order and Treasury Department's framework for international engagement on digital assets, which suppressed innovation and undermined U.S. economic liberty and global leadership. So what else do we have? This was important from Caitlin Long. This is big. Cryptos, it says, crypto executive order excludes the Fed and FDIC from digital asset working group. Both tried to kill the industry through debanking and especially targeted my company, Custodia Bank. Both belong on the outside. Nature is healing. And then after the executive order, this happens. SEC withdrew SOB 121, controversial accounting standard for public companies hoping to hold crypto for their customers. This is maybe even bigger, folks, because this right here gives banks can now come in and custody digital assets. That is freaking huge. You think $3.5 trillion, which is in the market now, is a lot? Wait till they turn that switch on. Even Hester Pierce jumped in the game. She, to her credit, she's one of the ones that got rid of it. Bye-bye SOB 121. It's been fun. SEC Staff Accounting Bulletin number 122. All right. Then there was this. This is what set all the Bitcoin people off. Now, the XRP people would leave these people alone if they didn't keep coming for us. You have to ask yourself, why XRP? Why don't they go for Solana, which is a major VC-backed token, and Ethereum? And they never went after Ethereum, which is a major VC-backed token, because that's the game, folks. It's got to be XRP because it's outside of their investing group. That's one of the many reasons they go after XRP. But Wolf of Wall Street, who is a Bitcoin maxi, says, strong rumor, don't shoot the messenger. Well, why would we shoot the messenger? What's wrong with XRP being in a strategic stockpile? Don't shoot the messenger, but hearing it through reliable channels. Now, this is the second person. First, it was Mark Yusko telling us this kind of thing. Now, the strategic stockpile they're discussing is Bitcoin and ... XRP. Not a joke. We will see. So I retweeted his tweet and I went and asked Grok, what have we heard, folks? Why have we been here all this time, folks? I've told you 1,000 times. What drew me to Ripple and XRP and what made me think Ripple was no ordinary company and XRP was no ordinary digital asset is because from early on, they kept on, in documentation and in video, they kept saying that the simple goal was to make XRP a world reserve digital asset. And I believed them. That's why even by people in the XRP community, we've been called, oh yes, conspiracy, you're a conspiracy theorist, just because it's not written down on paper that it's going to happen. Well, guess what? One of the first steps in having it down on paper by the U.S. government just happened. Don't take my word for it, take Grok's. I asked Grok, if you were going to make XRP a world reserve digital asset, would it make sense first to make it part of a U.S. strategic reserve? Answer, if the goal is to establish XRP as a world reserve digital asset, integrating it into a U.S. strategic reserve could serve several strategic purposes. One, legitimacy and stability. By including XRP in a U.S. strategic reserve, it would gain a level of legitimacy and stability in the eyes of investors and other institutions and other nations. U.S. backing could signal to the global market that XRP is considered a stable and secure asset. Regulatory clarity, this move would likely require clear regulatory guidelines, which could help in defining XRP's legal status, whether a security, commodity, or currency, thereby simplifying its adoption in international markets. Market influence. The U.S. has significant influence over global financial markets, including XRP and its strategic reserve, could influence other countries to consider XRP for their reserves or cross-border transactions, politically increasing its demand and value. Risk management. Incorporating XRP into a strategic reserve could serve as a diversification tool for the U.S. Why wouldn't you have one? To manage economic risk, especially if cryptocurrencies become more central to global trade. However, this also introduces new risks like volatility that must be managed. Adoption catalyst. Being part of a U.S. strategic reserve might accelerate adoption by banks and financial institutions for international settlements or as a part of their reserve assets. given the precedent set by a major economy. There you have it, folks. And then I put this in XRP plot twist. The SEC settles with Ripple, who pays the $125 million fine that the judge asked for in XRP into the U.S. Digital Asset Strategic Reserve, because this is what they came up with from the executive order. The working group shall evaluate the potential creation and maintenance of a national digital asset stockpile and propose criteria for establishing such a stockpile, potentially derived from cryptocurrencies lawfully seized by the federal government through its law enforcement efforts. Well, is the SEC not an they've called it regulation by enforcement 1,000 times when referencing suing Ripple and other companies. Well, is that not an enforcement action by the U.S. government? Would it not fit that criteria if they said, yeah, we're going to let you settle, Ripple, and we're going to, and then you can send us $125 million of XRP straight into our U.S. Strategic Reserve. Boy, are they going to go nuts if that happens. Now, the Bitcoin maxis have gone absolutely bonkers, okay? They're even being fact-checked. They were trying to, this is documenting Bitcoin. President Trump signs executive order to develop a new strategic stockpile of Bitcoin for the United States. They're fact-checked, and it says he signed for digital assets, not specifically Bitcoin, as mentioned by Poster. So they're even being fact-checked. I mean, this is their worst nightmare come true. Then David Sachs, the crypto czar, went on Fox Business. And I won't play the whole thing, but I'll play you the first part.
The man the president says is the man. David, thank you for joining us, first of all. Second of all, is this promises made, promises kept? Because Donald Trump said on July 27th that he would stop federal agencies from targeting the crypto industry. He made good on that promise today, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, President Trump campaigned to be the first crypto president. He gave a now famous speech in Nashville where he described how he was going to change the regulatory environment for crypto. And he has now acted on that promise. He signed this executive order today. He's directed our working group to produce a regulatory framework that's going to encourage innovation in crypto in the United States, keeping the industry onshore rather than driving it offshore, which is what was happening under the Biden administration.
I want to get to that framework in just a second. First, the executive order halts what President Trump calls aggressive enforcement actions and overreach. What is he talking about there?
Yeah, well, Edward, for the last 4 years, the Biden administration has basically prosecuted and persecuted crypto companies, really driving them offshore. I've heard so many outrageous stories by founders, by entrepreneurs. The Biden administration would not tell them what the rules of the road were.
None more than Ripple and XRP have been slowed down.
And they would then get prosecuted. And what the industry wants more than anything else is regulatory clarity. They're saying, just tell us what the rules are, we will abide by them. And the Biden administration would never do that.
Okay. I want to show you a couple more things before we go to the group. Brad Garlinghouse, the Bitcoin maxis immediately started attacking, and he responded to one of them. He said, unless you are choosing to ignore the core tenets of the POTUS campaign, which aggressively supports American companies and technologies, our efforts are actually increasing the likelihood of crypto strategic reserve, which includes Bitcoin, happening. And then Stuart Alderati, so much positive news today. Hard to pick my favorite, but this one from the fact sheet accompanying the executive order strikes a chord, doesn't it? President Trump will help make the United States the center of digital financial technology innovation by halting aggressive enforcement actions and regulatory overreach that have stifled crypto innovation under previous administrations. And then Stuart Alderati said this. Now, the reason I can't show you the people, he's replying to a David Sachs tweet. The reason I can't show you the person that's making the comment and who he's replying to is because I am still locked out on my computer out of my X account. I have it on my phone. I'm having to sit here and email myself all of these X postings, and I'm still waiting on X support to let me back in my account on my computer. I'm still waiting on them. And so that's why I've been having to make lemonade out of lemons, so is that the right saying? I think so. But anyway, Stuart Alderati, he's replying to the crypto czar, and he says, double click on that. Now let's dismiss these baseless claims with no fraud, no victims, just a political agenda to cripple the U.S. crypto industry. They are a massive waste of government time and resources. Here. Now, DAIXRP.com. There's so much more to go over, including some of these Bitcoin maxi attacks. Correct it. Look, we're forced into a position where we can't just sit here and let them say all the lies. We have to correct them. I don't want to be in that fight. I want all digital assets to survive and do well on a level playing field. The Bitcoin maxis and the Ethereum people never wanted that. That's the fact. What ETHgate was all about is they tried to rig a monopoly for Bitcoin and Ethereum and all tokens built on Ethereum. That's why we lived through all this. That's why we had to fight. And now this is like the final death blows of the Bitcoin maxis that are realizing, no, it's okay. You can have a Trump coin. So Bitcoin has no special place amongst all the others. A level playing field, and we'll find out right quick. Oh boy, will we. We'll find out right quick which digital assets are the best. That's what America's about. That's what it's always been about. And hell, we don't even know. For all we know, Bitcoin could have been created on Epstein Island. In fact, Jeffrey Epstein was at the MIT Media Lab giving them money, and he was all about Bitcoin at the time. Just go figure on that one. And I think now that Trump's in office, I can actually say that word out loud and won't be censored for once in my social media life. I'm the digital asset investor. I'm not an investment advisor. This is for entertainment purposes only. Please subscribe, hit the like button, tell your friends and family. Here we go.